About 14 years ago, I came to join the family business. My dad was on the brink of retirement. He retired as CEO about a year after I started here at Follett. While I didn't start working in the family business, I did grow up in the family business because my dad worked from, the day he graduated college through the end of his career at Follett. So our business was dinner table conversation for me. As soon as I was old enough, I went to every shareholder meeting. As soon as I was old enough, I joined the family council. I was the youngest fifth generation family board member. And so my first act in life was in television. I was a television reporter. That professional curiosity that I think is innate in a television journalist benefited me throughout my career here at Follett. Edith Benepe Follett was my great-great-grandmother, and Edith was kind of left out of the story. So Edith was a journalist for a newspaper in Chicago, and she was traveling to South Bend, Indiana to cover a story. CW was an undertaker in South Bend, and they fell in love, and because her job was more important, he followed her back to Chicago. And 150 years ago, for a male to follow a female's job was frankly unheard of. CW and Edith were the founders of Follett. They had 4 sons, and while raising 4 sons, she was extremely active in the history of the business. So as a female in leadership, I've felt compelled to carry Edith's story forward. This here is Edith's Book Nook, which is named after Edith and is our employee bookstore. We give all the proceeds from Edith's to local charities, so it's also our corporate social responsibility program. Every CEO, family or non-family that we've had during the last 14 years, and we've had quite a few, I have had to prove myself to in a different way. The perception of the Follett girl has always been she is only here because of her last name. The only way you combat that is through hard work and by proving yourself. I applied for a marketing manager position on our international division. I did not tell my dad I was applying for the job when I came to work at Follett. I was uniquely qualified for the role that I was applying for because in college my dad was responsible for our international division, and he told me in some phone conversation that he was going to Egypt, and I said, I'm going along, and he was like, no, it's a work trip, and I was like, no, I'm going along. I was obsessed with ancient history, and I would pay for my plane ticket, I'd pay for half of everything, but I was going to Egypt. It turned out that this became a tradition every year in college, as well as once I graduated, we would go on a cool international trip. So I got to know the international school market extremely well through these visits. I really could give the spiel that the sales folks were doing at this point, and so I could walk into this role and not only know the international school market, but also know our products, the history of the company. I made the decision to come back and work for the family business. I probably never would have made that decision had I not gone on those international trips. It's just as difficult to prove yourself to family members as it is non-family members. You can combat the stereotype by decisions you make in your life. Some of those decisions probably helped legitimize my abilities with family members in a slightly different way. As I love this business, I love the family legacy. I still love what I do every day here, and so that makes me excited to find new ways of selling more books more efficiently. And if I can set this business on a trajectory to be around for another 100 years, then I did my job.